Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I'm Sheldon Barlett-Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. This Is It Network is your global digital TV network, connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. I do that each and every day through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. Super excited about some developments this week and some things that we've been doing, working with some really amazing people to create some really awesome content. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about some things that we've got together. Our content schedule for 2021 is off and running. Every month we will be doing a series of different pieces of content to be able to share with all of you that highlights globally the remarkable women within our community and the remarkable women that we think are worthy of attention. So stay tuned for some really fun content that will be coming your way. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. Good morning. Excited that you guys continue to join me. This is episode 199, if you can believe it. Tomorrow will be episode 200, which is kind of crazy. So 199, episode 199. And today we're going to talk about failure, my loves, my darlings. Because some of you, I think, are still coming out of the dark. And some of you are really fixated on the things you haven't done and fixated on the large-scale hurdles that you've jumped in the past. I can say comfortably, without regret or apology, that I pretty much fail more than I win. It's really about the falling down. It's really about not necessarily having everything work out in my favor. It's not about having all of the roads align. It's really about the difficulty of what it is that I've chosen to do, because being an entrepreneur is a choice. As many of people have told me, why don't you just go be a director of marketing somewhere? Why don't you just, take the burden and the stress off of yourself and do something, a road more traveled? Wouldn't your life be easier? Wouldn't that be better for you? Wouldn't that reduce your stress? And it may, but I still am called to do something. And in being called to do something, unfortunately, along the way, I have fallen down. Along the way, things haven't worked out. Along the way, I haven't necessarily found my way. And it's been really difficult for me to move forward off of those big benchmarks of failures that I've had along the way. I'm not here telling you that whatever it is that you're going to do is going to go well. I'm not here telling you that this is going to be easy, whatever it is that you choose to do. I'm telling you that more often than not, you will fail at what it is you are called to do. And it is the learning curve of things. It's the disappointment in the failure that keeps us kind of moving, but it's also the lessons within the failure. Oftentimes we think about, something that didn't work out as a sign. Hey, Arinthia, how are you, love? As a sign as to us not moving forward or not doing that thing because it didn't necessarily work out in that way. I see it as I've learned the wrong way in order to do it. I've learned that is a less comfortable way. That is a way that isn't pleasing. That is a way that isn't going to work. And so I acknowledge the failures of my past because there have been more than I can even count. I've acknowledged, what I have done wrong. I acknowledge, not necessarily getting that A in the test of life in a lot of different cases. And the goal within understanding that you have to live in that failure and things not necessarily working out or things not going as you had planned or things blowing up in your face. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Arinthia. Is that you have to really be able to understand that the failure that is coming, that has been in your life, that is, I hope you're not sitting in it right now, but if you are sitting in it right now, knowing that this is a temporary space in which you live. This is not something I'm hoping that you carry with you all the time, that you reference continuously as you try to tell people what it is that you want. I have countless people that I know that constantly go to the failed playbook and share that story with as many people as are willing to hear it, instead of talking about the things in which you've done well or the things in which you have won within. We seldom talk about the A's. We often talk about the failures. Good morning, Carol. And the shame in that is us recognizing over and over again, us living in the things in which did not work out, living in this space in which hurts us, and therefore a constant reminder of what it is that we did not do well. Failure will happen. Again, I have failed more than I have won in my life. But I lean into the wins of my life in a way that affords me the ability to function as a winner. Not because it's boastful or full of conceit, but because that's how I'm going to be able to be self-motivated enough to move forward. The failures happen. The bumps in the road, the hurdles, whatever we choose to call them, they happen. Hi, Darby. Good morning. They happen. They're going to happen. Similar to when a young child learns to walk, they fall down until they catch their balance. That's what we need to recognize, right? My Chasey, who's 3, is a handful for sure. The facial expressions, way too much, right? In that space, when he was learning to walk, there was so many mistakes within it. So many mistakes and so many falling. And so could you imagine if he was like, I'm done, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to sit here. You can carry me around for the rest of my life, or he can get up and start again. And so recognizing the failures, recognizing that you were unbalanced, recognizing that things didn't necessarily work out when you made that decision or you made that choice when you had failed. It allows for you to grow personally and professionally. It allows for you to know what it is that you will do and what it is you will never do again. The things in which you need to avoid, as well as the things in which, feel so uncomfortable. Those failures are to be acknowledged, but not to be lived in. And what I mean by that is an analogy that I used a couple episodes ago about having a cut, cutting yourself on something, right? And when kids are little, they cut themselves and then they play with it. I know it sounds kind of gross, but it's the truth. They play with it. And then it never heals. And a failure is like that. A failure is like remembering it and picking at that cut so it never heals. What I need us to do with our failures is I need for them to scar. And I need for us to tell the story as something that which we survived, not something in which we are living in today. We need to stop picking that cut. We need to stop reopening that wound. It's something that happened. Allow for time to heal it, right? And in the symbolic way in which our cuts are healed in the same space, allow for time to heal it, to make it stronger, right? Continuing the analogy, again, the skin that grows over the cut is stronger than the skin that originally was there. Do you feel what I am saying? Do you hear me? You keep picking at it, it won't heal. You allow for it to heal. It is stronger than it was when it began. That is what we need for our failures to do. We need to allow for them to happen, allow for them to heal, leave them alone, provide us with a stronger sense of self, and then continue to tell that story as a victory in the survival of the failure, not in the reliving of it. And I know that that is difficult as we are in it, right? You're in that failure. Your things are reminding you of it. Conversations are reminding you of it. Other people sure as heck want to remind you of it. They want to remind you of it because they don't want you to feel that way again. They don't want you to be in a space where you are making them uncomfortable by you being uncomfortable. And so they are reminding you to never go down that road again. We need to share the story of the scar and not live in the cut. And I know that that may be hard for some of you whose failures were large, abundant, and big, who you can't think through it or past it because it is a scarlet letter in which you wear on your chest all of the time. You lead with it. You've leaned into it. You've lived in your failure so long, you don't know what you are like without it. But it's time for it to heal over. It's time for the skin to be stronger than when it began. It is time for you to tell the story of that scar. Failure will happen to you. If you learn how to do anything, you will fail initially. And the goal will be for you to continue to do it until you fail no longer. And you are an expert within that category of expertise, in that industry, in that business. You are a professional, seasoned, talented, an expert within what it is that you've got going on. But I am telling you that all those that are experts failed at one point. All those that are now successful, that we deem overnight successes, have spent so much time, good morning, Carrie, so much time working, The failures are hard. The mishaps are hard. And in most cases, the things right now in 2021, a lot of the things in which we are deeming failures have to do with things outside of our control. We have not failed. We have not failed. Life is happening to us, so many unpredictable things that has changed the course of our businesses and of our personal and professional lives. We must allow for the cut to heal. If you have failed, allow for it to heal. Recognize that there is something wrong. Recognize that things didn't go your way. Recognize that you made bad decisions, that you went left when you should have gone right, and you did not focus on what it is and where it is you needed to be, and live in that lesson and let that skin heal in a stronger way, in a more positive way. And that scar is just a reminder of what you've lived through, not a place in which you reside. I hope all of you are stronger today than you were yesterday. I hope all of you are focused on moving forward and not focused on your failures. I hope all of you are taking the necessary steps in order to understand that the scars that you have are simply stories to be told about your survival in the hardship of your life. And then as we figure out what our next steps are, as we figure out where it is that we want to be, that we are not living in the way in which we failed in the past. We are living in all of the wonderful abundance that is in front of us in the future. Failure is a part of it. It will always be part of it. We will always fall before we walk, and walk before we run, and run before we sprint. We will always have failure as part of our life. But how do we manage it? How do we look at it? How do we learn from it? A lot of us are going through a ton of hardships right now and are taking a lot of blame in for the decisions that we are making. But we need to be able to move forward in a way that is productive so we can tell the story of our scars. I'm Sheldon Barlett, and this is it. If you need a little bit of inspiration, this is a place to come each and every day at 11 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. Our goal is for all of you to find your voice, to begin to tell your story, to no longer whisper your wishes, but to, in fact, scream your dream. This Is It Network is your global digital TV network, connecting remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. For more information on This Is It Network, log on to thisisittv.com and follow, fan, and like us everywhere you find at This Is It TV. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 200th episode of Morning Message with Sheldon Barlett Rumor. Until then, my darlings, let your cuts heal and tell the story of the scars.